Hello, Oakland families. This is Miss Baird. I am so happy to be joining you today with your read aloud. Today we will be continuing our author study with James Dean. Today I will be reading Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. It is written by Kimberly and James Dean. Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. Pete and the gang had a great day. They had been at the beach. Surf and sun, tons of fun. But when the sun went down, they didn't want the fun to end. Pete had an idea. Hey, how about a sleepover? More time for tons of fun. Groovy, Pete's place. Let's go. The party was far out, but they knew they couldn't stay up all night. The gang decided it was time to say goodnight. On went the pajamas and out went the lights. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete was just about to catch some Z's when clap, clap, clap. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Groovy Toad. I don't want to go to bed. I want to clap instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Time to sleep. Pete tried again to catch some Z's when rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Who did that? Pete asked. It was me, said Gus, the platypus. I don't want to go to bed. I want to jam instead. Pete covered his head. This cool cat needs to go to bed. Time to sleep. Good night, Gus. Good night, Alligator. Good night, Toad. Good night, Pete. Pete closed his eyes to catch some Z's when he heard munch, munch, munch. Pete had a hunch it was Alligator. He was always up for eating. What could Pete do? And the clapping, rat-a-tat-tatting, and munching was giving him the bedtime blues. Pete had a groovy idea. He got out his favorite bedtime story and started to read, first to himself and then to the gang. Pete noticed it was finally quiet. No more clapping, no more rat-a-tat-tatting, and no more munching. They all settled down. No one made a sound. Pete yawned and turned off the light. Good night, sleep tight. Time to catch some Z's. Tomorrow was another day for surfing, sun, and tons of fun. I hope you enjoyed that story, friends, about Pete the Cat. All right, now we're going to continue talking about our story elements that you've been talking about this week. We're going to begin talking about the characters in the story, and then we'll talk about the setting. Okay, the characters in the story are Pete, Gus, and Alligator. Do you remember the setting of the story? The setting of the story was the beach and Pete's room. All right, now we're going to talk about the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. Can you remember what happened in the beginning of the story? In the beginning, everyone is surfing. In the middle, friends have a sleepover and no one can sleep. Do you remember why no one could sleep? They were rat-a-tat-tatting and clapping. And what was the alligator doing? You're right. He was eating pizza. Can you remember what happened at the end? Finally, everyone falls asleep. And what happened when they woke up? the next morning, everyone went to the beach. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this time together that we had today. And I hope that you enjoyed Pete the Cat and the Bedtime Blues. I hope you all are safe. And I'll see you in a few seconds for math. I love you guys.